So next one is the swerve pass. It's basically a ping, except instead of going straight forward, it's gonna curve a lot. So to do a swerve shot, it's pretty similar to a ping. So like your ball is gonna be curving, right? Except the path that is curving, the initial path that's gonna follow is gonna be that way, and then it's gonna curve that way if I'm hitting it like this, you know? And so therefore, you need to have your foot positioned at like just kind of at an angle. You don't want to. So if the ball is going that way, then the ball is going to curve like that. So the initial trajectory is going to be like over here, you know, and then it's going to curve and reach there. So that's why you need to have your foot position parallel to the initial trajectory of the ball. And so like you need to be at kind of a more extreme angle than a 45-degree angle. It's still not 90 unless you want to like curve it a lot. It's just around like 70 to 80 degrees, and two or three or four steps back, and not too far, not too close. And this is the part where is most important. So you need to make sure that when you curve the ball, this is the most important part of the curve, that you curve the ball. If your back is forward or backward, doesn't really matter. I would suggest it's backward. I would suggest it stays backwards when you hit it, so that it goes more up in the air. But if you want to hit a ground, more like towards the ground shot or towards the ground swerve pass, that's up to you. But the most important part is that when you're hitting the ball, you don't just hit it under, or else it'll just go straight forward. You know, make sure that you graze the ball. So when you're hitting it, you graze it. You like curve it. You hit it under the ball, like you hit it on the underside, and you graze it. Like you graze the side of it like this, so that when it's hit, not only does it go up, it has a spin to it. So when it goes, since your pointer foot is over there, of course it's gonna start going over there. But since you grazed it, it's gonna start spinning. And since you hit it at the underside of the ball, it's gonna go up. So all of those things combined, it's gonna go up that way and spin. And it just, yeah. So it's just gonna swerve. So remember, 70, 80 degree angle, and on you, 3 to 4 steps or 2 to 3 steps, and pointer foot like this, not too ahead of the ball or behind the ball, just like kind of parallel to the initial trajectory, and make sure to graze it. So all together. So for the side volley, the ball's not going to be on the ground, it's going to be up in the air. And what you need to do is, make sure that your knees are bent first of all, and then your body is like this. So if the ball is bouncing over here, you need to turn your body. You need to pivot on this foot, which is why balancing on this foot is very important. So when you're changing directions, if you're standing right here and the ball is coming over here, you stand back, and then when you're pivoting on this foot, you lift your foot and then lock your ankle. Very important trick, because if you don't lock your ankle, you're either gonna break your ankle, or the ball's just gonna it'll just be like this, or you're gonna miss it, or it's just gonna not move the way you want it to move. So that's why you need to lock your ankle, so that when you hit it, right, so your legs are stretched, your entire leg is actually locked, and your ankle is locked, most importantly, and you hit it right at the center of the ball. Because if you hit it at the bottom, there's going to be a lot of spin. If you hit it at the top, again, there's going to be a lot of spin. So you hit it at the dead center. So you see this pump hole thing, so you need to try to aim it at that hexagon, so at this area of the ball, to make sure that you don't want to have like a top spin or any kind of spin on it, unless you want to have like a spin which is more advanced. But we're just going to look at straight volleys right now. So for that, you need to make sure to hit the center of the ball. And so remember, make sure to pivot on this foot. Make sure that your legs are stretched, your ankle is locked, and you hit it at the center of the ball. And make sure that when you're hitting it, now you see my body, it's like, it's facing towards there, because you're hitting the ball like that, right? And so that's why your hands are just gonna move naturally, your torso, everything's gonna move naturally. So make sure to pivot on your supporting foot, and make sure that you lock your ankle, that you stretch your legs, that you hit the center of the ball. Together, it should look something like this.
Now, to master these things, we need to practice not only in game situations, but by ourselves as well, using drills.
So one drill you can use to practice, these are your normal ground passes and your power ground passes. To improve the accuracy of this is to set up 2 cones in front of you and just try to hit the ball in between those cones, right? So you can just normal pass, you just power, ground pass, all of these things, just to make sure that it goes between the 2 cones. This will help you improve your accuracy, and so in a real life situation, in a real game, you can help like pinpoint the exact location you want the ball to go to, and this will just improve your aim, you know? So in a real life situation, if you want to pass it to a forward that's all the way over there, you can just aim correctly and you just pass the ball to them and they'll go score a goal. So to like challenge yourself, you can obviously start off pretty close, like over here. This is pretty simple. I mean, if you miss this, then it's just sad. But if you can pass it over here, and then you can move back a couple of steps and you can pass it through there, and you can move super back like over here, or you can go all the way back. Depends on you, on how much you want to challenge yourself. Then try to hit it between the cones. But oftentimes when you want to pass, the trajectory of the ball goes a bit off, and you just want to keep the ball, like if you want to train like keeping your ball trajectory like the same, just straight, for example in the ground pass, then you can set up, like as you can see, I've put 2 cones here, and those big cones over there. So that's the aim, that's the target I'm trying to aim for between those cones. And I'm trying to make sure that the trajectory of the ball goes in between these cones the entire time, so that the trajectory just stays like just stays accurate and it goes in between the cones. So like that. So it always just goes between the cones. This will help you with of course it'll help you with aiming between the cones, and it'll help you with aiming your trajectory perfectly. A fun activity you can use to practice your accuracy of pings or swerve shots is that you can position the ball wherever you want, for example, and this is just the crossbar challenge. So you can, if you want to practice your pings, you can just keep it near the penalty spot over here, and then you can try to ping it onto the crossbar. Or if you want to practice your swerves, you can always go a bit like off center, and you can, for example, you can come to the corner of the box, right on this corner, and you can try to curve it to hit the crossbar. So it all depends on where you want to position it, but essentially the crossbar challenge is a fun and effective drill that you can use to practice the accuracy of your pings and your swerve shots, swerve passes. Now all of these drills that I just mentioned for passing, is that all of these are like when you're training alone, but of course if you have a friend, you can just try to practice pings with them, you can try to practice your ground passes, all of your passes you can just try to practice with them, and they'll in turn, when they pass it to you, they'll help you train your touch, like your control of the ball, like when you're controlling the ball from the air or from the ground pass, which we will talk about in the next video.